Move at paragraph 1, after subparagraph C, we insert new subparagraph as follows. CA, more than 47,000 people have signed a change.org petition in opposition to the redevelopment.
Please proceed.
Live Golf has been another failed project by the Malinauskas government. In his speech when he introduced this motion, the Honourable Robert Sims spoke about the $45 million price tag of Live Golf and how that money should be spent on higher priorities. He spoke of how this legislation was rushed through the Parliament. He spoke of how the state government took control of the parklands for another one of the Premier's pet projects. Today, I want to highlight what the destruction of the environment means for our parklands, our future generations, and the habitat for precious wildlife who still reside in our city. This state government loves to control everything, and their attitude to the parklands is another example. They weren't happy to work collaboratively with the local council, and instead they rushed through this legislation to make themselves the sole SARS of the parklands. Well, now we know what sort of custodians the Labor government intend to be of our parklands. They care more about golf than 150-year-old trees. They care more about their sporting mates than the community that have been out protesting. Last week, we saw the disturbing images of the trees being cut down, massive eucalypts lying on their sides. I don't think the Labor government has realised the impact that this has had on people. It's emotive. Seeing these images has stirred us to act. People want the government to know that they care about our parklands and they care about our trees. We've seen protesters putting their lives on the line for the trees and the wildlife. We've stood on the steps of this building in the thousands. But Premier Malinauskas keeps doubling down. He keeps saying this project matters to South Australia, but is he even listening when the community are clearly saying that the trees matter to South Australia, the wildlife matters to South Australia? Last year, the government passed the Biodiversity Act, but it hasn't come into effect. Very convenient, isn't it? The government has been able to chainsaw these trees down, reducing biodiversity while we wait for their own legislation to be enacted. The preamble to that act says, and I quote, "An act to provide for the conservation, restoration and enhancement of biodiversity in the state for the benefit of current and future generations." Which future generations are benefiting from these trees being cut down? The Biodiversity Act, which includes in its objects to promote halting and reversing biodiversity loss, is still to come into force, and while we wait, we're losing precious biodiversity. This Labor government claims to be doing the right thing by the environment, but actions speak louder than words. They've gone ahead and cut down the trees while we should be increasing our tree canopy. When we look around the country, the City of Adelaide has a lower tree canopy than Brisbane, Perth, Hobart and Canberra. Urban trees play a vital role in cooling our urban environments, reducing urban air pollution, increasing human well-being, mitigating stormwater runoff and building social and cultural connection. We are unique in that our city is surrounded by a parkland of trees. We cannot underestimate the impact that has on our city. We're at risk of losing our urban trees if we are not taking active steps to protect them. Sebastian Fauch, an academic from Western Sydney University, has said, and I quote, the lack of large old urban trees today is a result of past decisions. The consequences of not promoting and protecting old trees in our cities will be dire. If we lose them altogether, likely we will never get them back due to the type of human-nature relationship that allowed them to disappear in the first place. Now, the government's argument at every opportunity has been to say that they're replacing these majestic trees with 3 saplings for every one removed. I remind members that the Greens moved amendments to the North Adelaide Golf Course Bill to protect significant trees and to ensure trees were replaced with mature trees instead of saplings. The Labor government did not support those changes to their bill, and now we're stuck with the destruction. If you take a proper look at the science behind how many trees must be planted to replace one tree that is 150-year-old, it can vary between 100 saplings and 800 saplings. It depends on the type of tree, whether you're measuring the impact to wildlife, habitat or carbon. Scientific research by Australian academics has showed that it can take centuries for a sapling to contribute the same ecological role as an older tree that was cut down. In a piece they wrote for The Conversation in 2024 titled "Large Old Trees Are Vital for Australian Birds," the authors stated, quote, Planting saplings or installing nest boxes cannot replicate the ecological value of large mature trees. The people who have been protesting know that 3 saplings is not the same as a mature tree. The scientists know that that is true. The government have chosen not to acknowledge it. There's been no negotiation with traditional custodians of this Kaurna land regarding the removal of these trees, and the government has not worked collaboratively with the Adelaide City Council. Shame on this government for their arrogance. This is a government that's willing to take a wrecking ball to something we love, the parklands, for no other reason other than a golf course redevelopment. This motion calls for the control of the parklands to be returned to the City of Adelaide. That's a good thing because the Labor government have proved they cannot be good custodians of our parklands, and I trust that the parklands will be in better hands with the City Council. I also use this opportunity to put the government on notice. We will be scrutinising your plans for the MotoGP and the parklands, and we call on the government to protect the trees in that development, and we urge the government to bring the Biodiversity Act into effect so we can see the real protection of our environment. Now, regarding my amendment, this amendment recognises that over 47,000 people have signed a petition calling for the Labor government to stop the chop. This is huge, and we need to take notice. One of the unfortunate consequences of the archaic practices of this place is we cannot table e-petitions, even though the federal parliament allows it. The threshold for a paper petition to be automatically referred to an inquiry is 10,000 signatures, and now this petition has over 47,000. How many people need to join this fight before the government actually listens? 47,000 people believe we need to protect our parklands. Why doesn't the Labor government?
I call upon